As the clock strikes 7, the vibes alive. Inner circles here, where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come one, come all, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. In a circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. In a circle podcast where love is well known.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, and tonight we have a strong topic on breaking the silence. You know, May is Mental Health Month, and this year Inner Circle podcast, is pulling the curtain back to start to break the silence, from the emotional weight of abuse to the exhaustion of working multiple jobs to raising kids between cultures. We are naming it, owning it, and hearing it. So this Mental Health Month, we here at Inner Circle Podcast want to kind of amplify, right, the mental health challenges we all go through, in our immigrant community. So we want to amplify it. We want to empower voices and elevate, empower folks to make sure that we break the silence and speak about mental health. There are a lot of mental health challenges in our community. So tonight we will try to discuss it. Normally I have a couple of panelists with me, but considering the weather is very, very nice in Minnesota today, is about 85 degrees, so it's going to be a solo affair. It's 85 degrees here in May, right? 85 degrees kind of above normal, so you have to find a nice weather this time of the year, right? Things like that. So I know probably the panelists are out and about with families and things like that. So it's going to be a solo affair, just trying to, talk about mental health and how we in our community can break the silence, to speak about it, to acknowledge it, that it is something that is prevalent or that is happening in our community. You might not know it, there's so many stressors sometimes that, you might be dealing with, that might contribute to mental health challenges, but sometimes in our immigrant community, we overlook these things. So tonight, just we're going through some few stuff that we can all try to be aware of, right? Like domestic abuse and things like that. So, tonight we're going to try to discuss that. Hey, as I said that, our mental health expert is joining me here. Miss Wayne, how you doing?
Hi, I'm trying to figure out my life. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. But thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. We're just trying to make some intro here that the topic tonight is breaking the silence, and since it's Mental Health Month, so we're going to be discussing mental health, things like that. So thanks for joining this very, very important conversation. And folks, today's the Inner Circle podcast. I'm your host, Abe Kamara. And let Miss Wayne introduce herself, and then we'll try to dive into it. Miss Wayne.
Hi everyone, Win here. Hope you all are doing well. I'm excited to dive into this topic. I love mental health and I love talking about it. So, join the chat and let's have a conversation tonight.
Well, thank you so much for that. And folks, this is your community show, Inner Circle Podcast. We are growing, we are becoming a growing community. We bring such topics on here just to create awareness in our community and make sure that folks are aware about things that are going on. We are discussing these things. So you can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. So please join this movement. It's growing. So we encourage you to be part of this. So, Ms. Wayne, the first thing like I would like to, when it comes to mental health, what does like kind of a mental health, means to you, right? If you look at our community, sometimes these are things we don't. When it comes to mental health, we don't really talk about it much. We don't discuss it. We don't like to go around it. But there's so many layers to this thing. So, for you, what does mental health, I would say, kind of what means to you? I know what it means to me, but just to learn, let me hear your perspectives.
I think when I think about mental health, I think about
Hmm.
the concept of health as a
Yeah,
whole.
yeah.
Because when you're mentally health, when you mental health for me is I think about health, just like the
Mhm.
main word health. How
Yeah.
that look like it varies from you, varies from me, but I just think about health, the well-being of one's health. That's how I
Okay.
see it when I think about the word.
Hmm.
What do,
Okay.
how would you how do you see mental health, Abe?
Well, for me, I see it as like someone maybe like having mental challenges sometimes, right?
Okay.
Like maybe going through some life challenges like domestic abuse, right? Sometimes even work-life balance, having kids, trying to juggle situation with kids and maybe relationship, like marriage and things like that, and out of the and the kind of world we're living right now, right? Even with social media, right? Sometimes you have so much going on with that, right? You have drama, you have folks going at each other. Sometimes you wonder, guy, is that normal, right? All of these things. So I look at it from a vantage point where in like if folks maybe they're just kind of exhibiting abnormal behavior or behavior to me that very, very hard to, it's hard to make sense of, right? It's like, okay, what are you doing, right? It's like sometimes they have normal behavior and that behavior sometimes is like, man, I think this person should probably seek help. But in our
But
community, right, it's hard to acknowledge those things. Go ahead.
right. But do you think also too, like I know you have your questions, but I just want to like is
No,
mental
no,
health
no, go
one?
ahead. I mean,
Do
this is a
you
conversation,
but
right?
do you think like the especially in our community,
Mhm.
everybody is bringing like sorry, I'm here trying to share our thing out here. Everybody's bringing awareness. We're talking about mental health when things are happening. People are saying, "Oh, this person need a mental health check. They need to get checked into something." Do
Mhm.
you think the word in our community, Liberian community, is being misused when people make like bad decisions in life and then when it reflects on them, then they're like, oh, they have a mental health crisis? Are you seeing a rise in that, or am I seeing that? Or am I just seeing that from my
Well,
perspective?
I won't say the word's being like, overused or abused, right? Sometimes like some of the behavior folks exhibiting, right? And as I said, we live in a world right now, everyone wants clicks, right? Everyone tries to be this is like everyone wants to be popular. So it might be a situation where in like, some folks are exhibiting behavior and said, man, that's just not a normal behavior. So I think maybe they need help, right? Or I think maybe they just you don't have to be like a clinician doesn't have to diagnose you right for you to even like maybe like acknowledge that. So when it comes to our community, I don't think it's being overused. I think maybe like we're saying these behaviors, okay, maybe we need to talk about it more. Maybe the conversation needs to be had, right? Maybe that we need to discuss it more. We need to just be open about it and encourage folks, right? Just to kind of
Right.
maybe have a mental health check, right? And these are things we don't do a lot of. And maybe that's where we are. Like you might see someone go for a physical, right? Even when I mean, you guys, some of you guys are in the healthcare. If you when you go for a regular physical, whatever, they give you the long list of questions. you know, Based on that, sometimes I mean, they might tell you maybe like, hey, they might have some couple of recommendations for you. So, to answer that question bluntly, I don't think it's being overuse or misuse in our community. I just think like a lot of behavior going on in our community that sometimes we man, some of these folks need check.
I don't, Maybe I hear you, but I somewhat disagree because I think like
Okay.
sometimes what I see, a lot of the time, like, people are making these decisions in their life repeatedly and it's backfiring on them. And then they come on the social media platform and, cause the ruckus, they're all live, they're misbehaving. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, sometimes our people is the way we act on these platforms is because of the choices we have made repeatedly. If you keep playing stupid game, you're gonna keep winning stupid prizes. That's really what it is. So
Okay.
I get what you're saying, but I think sometimes, because Liberians and Africans, well, we're bringing awareness to mental health. People are tapping into it now. People are getting checked. People are trying to, like, seek therapy and other stuff for, like, those other things that they're struggling with, which is valid. But I also seen that a rise in our community where when people make these really dumb choices or situations in their life, and then they come on social media and act a fool, then they like, oh, this person is battling a mental health crisis. And I'm like, no, they made some decisions that is backfiring on them, and now X, Y, and Z is a reflection of the choices that you have made. That's what I meant by
Okay.
that. So
Okay. Okay. That's fair. Well, Miss Patient, welcome to the show.
girl, I
Welcome,
miss
welcome,
you.
I know
welcome.
it's been a while.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Tonight we are discussing mental health, breaking the silence, right? So I will ask you the same question I've been discussing. What does mental health means to you, and especially when it comes to breaking the silence in our community? How will you talk to that? What will you say about that?
Well, like Wayne said, I noticed that it's just recently we have started paying attention to like mental health and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, because that's one thing African people has never really, or let's just say Black people have never really paid attention to their mental health. It was always or has always been dismissed, and we didn't look into that. We're moving forward, like she said, piggyback on that. I think it's getting to the point where people are using that as an excuse. Like you make
Mm-hmm.
poor decisions, then come back and be like, "Oh, I have mental health issues. That's the reason why I did what I did." And there are people who are struggling with those issues, like people who are really struggling with those things. And if someone is using that as an excuse, because for us African, we're quick to doubt each other. Like if you do it once or twice, the next is like crying wolf. Nobody believe you. So when you get to that point where you're actually going through what you're going through, nobody gonna show up for you to help you out because you have always been using it as an excuse. And mental health is not a joke. That's something that
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
really need to take serious, because a lot of Black people are committing suicide and a lot of Black people are going through it. Even African, like these younger generation now are really going through that. You look every now and then you see, oh, this kid committed suicide. Like
Mm-hmm.
we growing up as children in Africa, if you tell your parents, "Say I want to kill myself," they'll tell you, "Say you want me to give you the knife so you can go kill yourself, or if you want to hang yourself, oh, let me get you rope."
Yeah.
We need to acknowledge those things, but these kids in America now is different because their outbringing is different, and it is something that needs to be talked about more. And people need to stop using it as an excuse when it's not really going on with them, like Gwen said.
But make this make sense to me though, right? You said those who are going through those challenges, they are using it as an excuse, right? Maybe are you saying they are using it as an excuse to say, oh, okay, the reason why I'm exhibiting certain behaviors because of my mental health or because I'm going through mental health challenges? Is that what's going on in the community? Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
sometimes that's what it's like. They make these decisions, willingly make these decisions,
Uh-huh.
and use the whole mental health thing as an excuse. I did this because I'm going through this, or I did this. Sometimes it's attention seeking, and it might be, and that's what I say. There might be something that's going on, but you need to not cry. Like the old people can say, "You cry wolf." When it's really happening, nobody gonna believe it because you have been taking it for a joke for so long. They do have people who use that as excuses. Like, let's just these kids, whatever
Mm-hmm.
shooting happened in school, it
Mm-hmm.
always boiled down to, oh, this person had a mental health issue. That's why
Yeah.
they ended up doing what they did. And they might have that, but that is not, we need to hold people accountable for the decisions and stuff, especially if it's affecting other people. We need to hold them accountable for that and still give them the help that they need as well.
But window, right? If we see folks exhibiting such behaviors, right, isn't it like the responsibility of the community to try to maybe intervene, right? Instead of saying, I mean, the person is using it as an excuse, right? I will kind of drag this a little bit because it's like if someone, it maybe like they might not be close to you, but they're in the community, they keep exhibiting certain behavior. Isn't it up to the community to say, hey, man, maybe let's recommend that this person seek some intervention instead of saying the person coming, oh, the reason I'm doing it is because of my mental health. Shouldn't we as a community try to rally around them to seek intervention?
I mean, again, you can't want something for someone if they don't want it for themselves. That's the first thing we got to put on this map tonight. I think a lot of the time it's easy to say it. I mean, that would be a great approach, right? Let's intervene, let's step in, let's do this. But you also got to understand the community is divided into two spectrums. We have the people that are willing to advocate for intervention, and we got people that are enablers, right?
Okay.
So we got to under. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just saying people are enablers, and a lot of people don't, like Patience said previously. Some people really just want that attention seeking. Like they're gonna put it out there, they're gonna get on this map, they're gonna cry wolf. People will come to the rescue, people will come to the aid, people will try to help them with funds, send them tips, resources, and they probably don't never use that. They don't want that because why? It's easy for them to play that victim card and get that sympathy that they're looking for because again they're looking for that attention. So that's why I'm saying there's certain part of our lives where people are make these irrational decisions or choices and then it backfires, and then we come on these apps and say I have a mental health struggle. Granted, you probably do, but my issue is after a while when you keep making that same decision repeatedly as an adult, now
Mhm.
I got to look at you sideways. So as a community, yes, we can come to that person's aid. Yes, we can come and provide resources and interventions or advocate or talk to them. But
Yeah.
also, you got to understand there is two parts. There's a person that is advocating, and there's an enabler. And a lot of people rather be with the enabler that enabled that behavior because it gives them the attention that they need.
Okay. Okay. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing breaking the silence, issue of mental health in our community. May is Mental Health Month. So we decided to bring this topic to the forefront to discuss it. So I have two great panelists with me here tonight, Wayne and Patience. So if you want to contribute to the conversation, you can put a comment in the chat or call our number 952-594-5154. What role, though, does domestic abuse has to play, though? Out of this, right? It's something we don't talk about much in our community when it comes to domestic abuse because in many immigrant homes, right, it's about keeping the family together, keeping silence,
And that's the problem.
you know what I mean? So what role, how can we kind of, pull that curtain when it comes to domestic abuse? So, Patient, will start with you on that.
I'm a strong believer of my happiness come first, or whoever happiness come first. In order for you to love your children, or in order for you to love someone, you need to be in a healthy environment.
Mm-hmm.
You need to love yourself. You have to be mentally stable, emotionally stable in order to pour into other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have people who are struggling with situations like dealing with domestic violence and stuff. And it's not even so much of because the physical wound heals. There is the emotional
Yeah.
and the mental abuse to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are in this situation that you keep going through what you're going through and you're getting hit on, first of all, your kids are in their home. They're seeing what's going on or they're hearing what's going on. And this is why we keep going through the same cycle over and over
Mm-hmm.
because probably that person that's in that situation saw their parents going through that and they believe that it was okay. Now they're going through it as an adult, and the kids are saying that when the kids grow up, they're going to go through it as an adult too. So that's a cycle. And it is a mental issue because it's a generational thing. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to be able to pull ourselves out of that situation. African people believe in at least now we're growing out of the idea of, oh, I'm gonna stick it out and because it's my
They believe in
family,
suffering
I'm
love,
gonna
man.
take
Suffering love.
right.
You
Okay.
Right. But
suffer to
at
show
least
love.
I give that to us. We're trying to grow out of that cycle now. Like we are willing to move on and start a better life for ourselves. But
Mm-hmm.
that is for me, honestly, is the mental part of it.
Yeah.
Because if you are not in that state to be able to choose yourself within a situation,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem, especially if you have kids in that situation. That's a problem. It's not even so much of the adult, it's the children, because we're
Okay.
raising broken generation. Then the next
Yeah.
generation gonna be broken, the next generation gonna be broken as the cycle goes on. And
Yeah.
African people don't believe in therapy. A lot of African people don't believe in therapy, which I don't understand. When I'm trying to talk to people and recommend, even my own friends, sometimes I try to recommend therapy to them. But, oh, you are like some white woman. I said, it's not that. We went through trauma as children. I
Mhm.
talk to my therapist. When I had conversations with my therapist, the things that I discovered, I didn't even know it was bothering me or
Mhm.
it was affecting me as an adult. We
Mhm.
go through these things and we just brush it off. But we really need to dive into this whole mental health thing,
Mhm.
because growing up in Africa is hard. Growing up
Mhm.
in Africa alone is a struggle.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Dealing with everything else that comes around it, we need to seek, the whole world needs to seek help. We all need therapy and work on this mental state of ours, because there's just a lot going on.
And let me just push out a little bit though, right? Since it means like you, when it comes to the therapy aspect of it, I know the community sometimes I do agree, right? Most of us, a lot of us, or the majority of us don't seek therapy. You, in the sense that you are seeking therapy, I mean, how does that look like? Do you think someone has to be going through mental health challenges to seek therapy?
No,
Just okay, okay. You know, we can take that, right? Should we be
No,
going through mental
no,
health challenges to seek? Yeah,
I don't
go ahead.
believe. I don't believe that. One second, Wayne. I don't believe that you need to be going through mental health to seek therapy. I
Mm-hmm,
believe therapy just uncover like
okay,
some of the traumas that you have been through, and it helps you become a better person, a better parent, a better spouse.
sure.
It makes you a better, just getting a point of view from someone who does not know you. That's a complete stranger. You're having this conversation with someone who, and for me, I always recommend don't go to an African person, because that
Uh,
person has a similar struggle. No, no, that person has a similar struggle. Go to a different person that comes from the opposite background as you are, the opposite skin tone. So when you talk to that person, they give you a
mhm.
different point of view on what you're going through.
Mm, okay. Wayne, what you want to say about it?
I agree with patients, but
Okay.
I want us to release the stigmatization that is attached to mental health and therapists.
Okay.
As clinicians, as therapists, they're there to hold space,
Mm,
right? They're
mm-hmm,
there to hold space. One of the main job is holding space.
mm-hmm,
And you don't have to be going through crisis. You don't have to be about to commit suicide. You don't have to have suicide ideation to seek a therapist. Like patients stated just now, you
mm-hmm,
can go and get a different perspective. And the thing about therapy, you don't have to go Monday through Friday. You can go once a week. You can do a what we call a PRN session where you check in once a month with that therapist,
mm,
just
yeah.
to have someone to like hold space for you and to have
Okay.
that place that you can confide in that person about
Mm-hmm,
what is going on in your personal life. So again, what patients say, you don't need to be going through some mental health crisis to see a therapist or to have a therapist. I advocate
Mhm.
from my people having therapists, getting therapy. You're not crazy. It don't mean you're crazy. It don't mean you are nuts. It just means you're trying to get a better understanding and learning different way to manage your emotion, your triggers, and your trauma. That's
In
just
your,
it.
yeah, indoor session though, how does it look like? Is it an open book? I mean, is everything
So
open
let me
for?
give you a rundown,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I
Go
don't
ahead, go ahead.
disclose my work, but as a
Yeah.
clinician, one thing I always let clients know: when you enter my office, I'm holding space for you.
Okay.
And the clients are generating the sessions, right? If
Okay.
what you're presenting with is what you want to talk about, let's talk about it. So let's say if a client comes in the office and they really like they be like, hey, I had a really crazy week. This is
Mm-hmm,
what happened. We're gonna talk about that,
mm-hmm,
right? And
mm-hmm,
then let's say the next week they come and see me. They
mm-hmm,
want to talk about their childhood trauma. We're going to talk about that. So realistically speaking, the client really is driving the
mm-hmm.
sessions, and the therapist just adding their input. But again, remember, we're holding space for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Does
okay.
that make
That's I mean
sense?
that's yeah, yeah. That's good to know, right? It's good to kind of educate our community on this thing because sometimes like, someone might say, if I go down there, what do I have to discuss, or what do I need to talk about, or how do I need to approach it? And sometimes we hold things in, right? And that's my next line here. That I want to bring in, right? I mean, patience. Either you talk about emotional in our society, especially in the immigrant community, you don't really see physical abuse these days. What you have going on is meaning the emotional abuse, right? Is that someone might be in a relationship just being tormented, right? It's like every time, or maybe a kid might be in a situation just being tormented. But you don't see a lot of physical abuse these days. What you see is emotional abuse, and sometimes just how to
Yes.
get out of that.
Yes.
What's your thought on that?
And
Go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
sorry.
Wayne is
Me and
animated
mental
about this.
health
Go
were
ahead, go ahead,
5 and 6.
Wayne. Go ahead.
I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say this tonight.
Yeah.
On the line of abuse, emotional, physical, and all those forms of abuse, the most chronic abuse is mental and emotional abuse. People
Mm-hmm.
commit suicide from those types.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Patience said previously, the bruise will fade away. There are scars, cream, you can get that marks and move out your body. But when a
Mm-hmm.
person can control your mind and how you see yourself, it's a
Mm-hmm.
wrap. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
the suicide ideation is coming from your thought process. What a man thinks, so he becomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this right here is one of the most dangerous form of abuse. If you ask me, in my definition, like mental
Mm-hmm.
emotional abuse is
Mm-hmm.
very it's very high, and that is what is happening to people. So you're right, Abe. People are not physically abusing you no more, because the moment somebody can have control over your mind and
Mm-hmm.
tell you you're this, you're that, and a third, and they do all of that and they know they can get away with it, it's over. It's over, and that's the sad part about it.
But patient though, it is so prevalent in our community. I mean, it's like you see, and sometimes folks don't even recognize it, right? As I mean, obviously, like, it's so the emotional aspect of it is so it's everywhere. You see it, and sometimes maybe like might be happening. Someone might say, "Oh no, he's just that kind of person, or she's just that kind of person," But how can we try to say, you know what, that's not normal, right? Is that you being emotionally abused, or you're going through some emotional challenges, right? How can we address it?
Once again, it goes back to the generational cycle, because
Mm,
majority of like the situations we're going through right now, we saw our parents go through it.
okay.
Like our dad will do whatever he wants to do, or speak to our mom or however he pleases, or have
Mhm,
multiple partners out there, and she's sitting in the house and taking it.
mhm,
Growing up, we saw that. So now
mhm,
we're like, okay, my mom did it, I can do it. And that
mhm,
is not okay, because at some point we need to stand up. This is our time, this is our generation. And we have the resources, we have the education to like advance ourselves and do the work that we need to do
yeah.
to get out of that situation. And yes, I do understand sometimes when once you're trapped in there, you start believing that
Mhm,
okay, without this person, I'm nothing. Like, what would life be like? And I hear this a lot. It's like, oh, this person and I been together for 10 years.
Oh,
We've been together for 15. And so what? I always tell people, I don't care if it's 50 years. If I'm ready
But
to
why
move,
if
move.
but what
Like,
if kids are involved though, right? You guys
I
have all of these
don't
steps
care.
hey,
together. You have
your
kids.
children will thank you for taking yourself out of toxicity
Right.
than staying in it. I promise
Yes.
you, your children
Because
will actually thank you.
those kids are watching you. And once again, it comes down to your children
Mhm,
watching you go through this thing, especially, and I always tell people, especially girls. And when it comes to the boys, I talk to the fathers too, because the
mhm,
way you treat your wife in the
Mhm.
home, when that child leaves that home and get married, that's how unless he's a smart kid and do the work he needs to do mentally to go to
mhm,
get out of that cycle,
mhm,
that's how he's
mhm.
going to treat his wife. And the same
Okay.
goes for us women too. The way in which we accept our spouses to like deal with us at home, that's how our daughters are gonna grow up and go do that. It doesn't matter
Okay.
if I have 10, 20 children. Somebody's gonna be out there that will want you with 10, 20 children. I mean, this is not the only man for this is not the only man for you.
Okay.
If he was the man for you, God, I can always tell people, and every day I pray, I tell God, I don't want no struggle of love. There is no reason God put me on this earth for me to struggle for love. He
Mm,
loved me unconditionally.
Can you imagine?
mm,
They may die on
So
the
I'm
cross for my
not gonna be
sins.
constant, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be because and we had this conversation. You coming home, most people when they come home, they stay in that driveway for like 45 minutes, dreading to come in your home
yeah.
because you have to come and deal with your spouse. And these are serious issues. They don't pay attention to that. That's
Mm,
not love. That is not love. Because if a person loves you, they create a safe space for you.
mm,
That's your person. That's your comfort zone. That's where
mhm.
mentally, after a tough day at work, you're supposed to come and just breathe and be
Yeah.
yourself in your home. But tolerating that for the sake of children, I pray we can outgrow that, because that's those children gonna grow up and leave your home.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wayne. Flow.
In years, Pishikin, you're dropping. I will hold it for now. In years, don't mean a damn thing tonight on this app. It don't care about how long you've been with this person. Your mental health matters. The well-being of your kids matter. If you say you don't want that child to mimic you or copy what you saw in the womb, you gotta break that cycle immediately. I know we use 10 years, 15 years, but baby, you calculate that 10, 15 years, you wouldn't have been happy how many times? Probably 1 year straight. All the other years been miserable. So what are we counting? We're not encouraging struggle love in this generation for our kids. And my Liberian girls, some of y'all are waking up, and I'm celebrating y'all for that. But some of y'all are still saying, oh, nobody perfect. We get it. We get it. But please, this mental health month, advocate for yourself and tap into other resources.
Okay. Folks, these ladies are animated tonight, about breaking the silence, So it's mental health month, so you can contribute to the conversation, as I said, by putting a comment in the chat or calling our number 952-594-5154. We are discussing breaking the silence this mental health month, trying to bring awareness to mental health. So folks can be aware, right? It's like, as patients said earlier, seek therapy. You don't only have to wait to be going through challenges to seek therapy. You can make that like a normal routine. So we are discussing mental health month, breaking the silence, and we are on the issue of domestic abuse, and the ladies are really, really animated. So the other one I want to bring in, right? What does gender role has to bring out of this? In Africa, the men are in control. The men are in control. In Africa, the men are in control. Now we come in America, right? These ladies, they have started working, they started getting everything for themselves. So sometimes the role flip. What role does gender have to play in all of this? So, Patient, I'll start with you and then we'll win.
Okay, first of all, this is me. When I start dating someone, my first question is, what's your definition of a gender role? Because I need to know if you're a typical 1960 man or you're up to date. Because one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm a traditional woman. I believe in cooking and cleaning and laundry. That's a choice. That is not my job. When my mom born me, they didn't write it down on the paper, said this is what you're supposed to do in the home. I'm choosing to do that because as a woman, that's what I enjoy doing. And once again, I'm going to expect my spouse to pay all the bills in the house. This is partnership. We are partner. Our job or the purpose of us coming together is to make each other life easier. If I get home, I'm tired. If there's leftover in the fridge, heat it up and eat. If you're too hungry, you want to cook, make dinner so we can eat. We are partner. When I'm not tired, I'm not exhausted, I'll get in the kitchen and cook. And you're going to eat. When the laundry is dirty, you ain't got no socks to wear, throw the clothes in the washer. We're not in Africa. We're not washing clothes in our hand. Throw the clothes in the washer, go for a walk, come out, the clothes will be done, put it in the dryer, and take your socks and wear it. For me personally, and I'm speaking for myself, everybody may be different. Me personally, I do not believe in the whole set gender role for my spouse. I believe in partnership. I believe in helping each other out to make our life easier. That's the purpose. That's why we're together, because at the end of the day, I stand on my 2 feet. I can take care of myself and take care of my bills. So if we're here for you to just pay bills, and I don't need you, because before you, I was paying my bills, and before you was eating and doing your laundry too. So if you're gonna come in this house and think I'm gonna be washing your clothes and become your hus girl, that's a problem for you, bro, because we're in a different century. We're working. It's one thing if I'm a stay-at-home wife, that's a different thing. Okay, I'm home all the time. But if I gotta go clock in and clock out, bro, we're working together. We're a team. So I don't believe in gender role. I don't.
Or do who hasn't been such a situation, right? Maybe that they come from Africa, they used to, the woman doing the house chores, right? Doing these things. And then now they got in this situation, right? And then they have to do dishes, they have to do this, they have to do that. Mentally, don't you think, it's going to create some, it's like I mean, don't you think it's going to create mental health challenges for them? That's a situation where they're not used to that. Now it's like,
Washington dishes game mental health challenge, Abby.
Right?
you
No,
if you need to warm his own food, to do the dishes or to do the
okay.
laundry.
So
Okay.
when he was single, my thing was when he was single, who was doing those things for him before he about to have a mental
No,
breakdown
especially when
because
you're
of
in La Girl, he didn't have my
right. Who was doing these things for him? That's enough. And there's always like I always leave room for things. So I'll ask: is there
Okay.
anything that you absolutely hate doing? Any type of chores that you absolutely hate doing? For me,
Okay.
I hate washing bathroom. There is no way I'll be living in a house where I go get on my knee and scrub bathroom. If you scrub it, we will take our we'll find with it's not gonna be me. And if my spouse hate washing dishes, I understand that I'll wash the dishes. The point is we are pregnant. Wherever you're lacking, it is my duty to step in and fill in that gap. And wherever I'm lacking is my duty. But for you to stand 10 toes down and tell me I gotta cook, clean, wash the go, there's a woman out there for you, bro. It's just in me.
So then, quick question then, and then women that are in such a situation, do you think they are being abused, right? Women that are maybe like doing. I mean, she's working and then, but she's doing all of those things. Is she just will you consider such a female or woman a traditional woman, or she's being abused? What will you say to that?
She's not being abused. Nobody put a gun to her head.
That's
That's her choice.
Okay.
We all have a
Okay.
choice to make, Abe, and
Yeah,
everybody
that's
got to
that's
understand
a
as
choice.
adults. This is,
Mm-hmm.
remember, I come back to this mental health part, right? We
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly make these choices, and then
Mm-hmm.
in the end, if it backfire, we come on this app and we say this person has a mental health crisis. She
Yeah.
voluntarily wanted to be a traditional wife that cook, clean, busted open, turn it to the left, and all type of way, but loose.
Right.
That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. This
Mm-hmm.
shit is saying I'm coming in with a partnership mindset. I'm here to add value to you. You are here to add value to me. I'm not your slave, neither are you my slave. You meet me halfway, I meet you halfway, and we build this empire together. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you want to girl that do all the nine, yeah, where you crank and jet chill with the big boys, baby, you got the wrong chick. That's what my girl is saying here to the patient.
Yeah.
Hala.
No, that's it. That's
Exactly.
it.
I just
Okay.
want to
What
Volunteer.
clarify for Amy so that because you want track.
Right, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
no,
know he
okay.
be
he's
ready to
trying to make
track.
it the that we're not traditional with me. That's what he's
I
trying
didn't
to
say
do.
no. That's not a lie I'm trying to push
Amy
here.
said, "Bring me all over on the show. Yeah,
That's not
That's
a,
not
no. That's not a lie I'm trying to
lie.
push. No. That's not a lie I'm trying to push. You guys are
the
bringing
minute
great
I watch it,
content.
they'll say, I want no women that
Trying to, I mean, you guys are bringing great awareness to mental health, But hey, what you guys said to, JP Pastor here, right? It's like, in most of these situations, right, women are always like the victim, right? Maybe in dysfunctional relationship or in relationship
No,
where in their mental health
No, we
struggles.
gotta disagree with that one. No.
Okay. Say more to that. Why do you disagree? Why?
men goes through. Me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
believe men goes through a lot of mental and emotional trauma.
Yep.
Okay.
They don't talk about it because of their ego. They
Mm.
feel like it'll make them feel less of a man, or people will start thinking of them being less of a man.
Mm-hmm.
They have some women who are very abusive, very, very abusive to their partners. And
Like
they have
Sata,
some
like Sata, like
Wait,
Sata.
what?
No, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, it's like,
If he
let's
might,
let's.
he's
nobody
bringing
will
your
call him
party. Are
names.
you
What are you gonna do is call name?
Okay, I'm not name dropping. I'm just. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
they have some women. They have some women who are very, very, very abusive. So men goes through a lot too in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. The only difference is we at some point we speak on it because we're emotional beings. Men bottle up those things and once again it goes back to the whole generation thing. In Africa, they tell the men and say, "Oh, you be the man, man. What you whining for? Or you acting like some little girl?" And I always say this, and that I think that's why God didn't give me a son because he could who have been a sissy. I want you to cry, baby, cry. If it's hurting you, cry it out. Talk to me about it. Seek help about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you raise a better man because our parents really did us wrong, and that's why we're struggling with finding the right partner because
Yeah.
all of these are going through it mentally and they're not seeking the help because they believe that they're not supposed to seek help. There are men
Mm-hmm.
supposed to take whatever and be whatever in the home just for the sake of his family, which is not okay. And once again, paying bills, like expecting a man to pay other bills, that's an abuse.
That
Like
is. Let's
that's
talk
an
about
abuse.
it.
You can't expect somebody child to just take full financial responsibility of you. That's a lot of burden. He's taking
Okay.
care of the whole household. That's a problem.
Okay.
So you got men go. It's not just women. It's not.
So then, since you say here, right, as a practice, something that's good for you, something you feel like that you need to do, right? Like you do go to therapy, as a normal thing. If you meet a man that were you encouraging that both of you should go to therapy, right?
Most definitely, yeah. And that's one of that has always been one of my things. I need you to work on your trauma because I'm at the place where I have worked on mine and I'm still working on it.
Okay.
There's nobody's perfect. There's always room for improvement. I'm still working on it. So you do the same because I don't want you to pass that. Once you get triggered, it's going to affect me. I don't
Okay.
want you to project your negative energy onto me. Then
Okay.
I will project that energy onto my children. When I met my person, I right then and there asked him, "Do you go to therapy?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Fine." He tell me, say no. I'm gonna tell him, say it's not going. I'm serious. I have
Okay.
come to the
That's
place.
fair. That's fair.
I
Yeah.
have come to the place where I'm in a healthy mental state, and I don't
Okay.
need nobody to come and interrupt that because I did the work that I needed to do. It cost me a lot of time and money, and I don't want to go back to the person I used to be. So if I'm choosing a partner, I have to choose the right partner, and it's not just for
Come
me.
on.
I'm raising children too. I want my kids to
Sure.
see that and
Mhm.
become those people so when they get in their own relationship they can be able to love properly and be loved properly. So
Okay.
definitely if therapy is not something for you, I respect your decision, but you're just not for me because
Okay.
we have to do that toxic. No,
No,
no.
no
Okay.
nonchalant.
Okay.
Oh,
So
all the time. No.
Wayne, then do you think females in our community should encourage their partners, to go for, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to get to the point where you have challenges or you guys are going through stuff, but just a normal thing, right? Maybe once a month, as you said, right? Maybe once a month, or maybe once a year, once every 6 months. Do you think females should encourage their partners, right? For
Maybe I
them.
get a question. Fine. Answer that question. You got therapist?
Well, I don't. As I said, right? That's the thing, right?
Won't move for
Should
the
we,
app. Won't move for
should
you
we,
to not go find a therapist.
Go
Okay.
find a therapist.
yeah, okay, so that's the thing, right? So that's the question.
So
Should
I'm
we,
gonna
They're
encourage
recommending
the
it to you.
the host to
okay,
find a
okay,
therapist tonight.
okay,
Go
okay.
go
That's
But
fair.
find a
That's fair.
to answer your question,
Uh,
as a woman, if you're gonna encourage your partner, you should also be in therapy.
therapist.
Right? It's a
uh,
two-way street. We're back again, right? Is that partnership because it's great to encourage the man to do something, but you got to set that tone as well. You got to be there showing something. So if you're saying, "Oh, baby, I think you should go to therapy," which is great, but as a lady, yourself, you should be at least on that same line as well. So you're at meeting because if this man is, he's willing to go to therapy and and work through those trauma and talk about those things, and he's working on healing those pieces and learning how to cope with those triggers and everything, and you not working on that, and you about to come taking back, like patient just said it, to where he's been working through, you're not helping him as a
okay,
man. So if you encourage him to go, yourself should go as well, so you could be halfway together.
okay. My last point then on this whole domestic abuse piece was about the issue of fear, right? We are immigrants sometimes. Like, you don't want to put something on someone's record. Sometimes, oh, I don't
Now
want to
what
call
about
the
to my
police.
uncle, Eddie, please,
I don't want
man.
to
I'm
call the
begging you,
police.
yeah,
I don't want to go to
please.
jail. I don't want anything to go on my
What's
record.
a jib, brother? I feel bad to you.
Okay, so
First of
what I mean is that we are immigrants. Hey, we got to face the reality, right?
Immigrant will
So
not
no
immigrant
what
gonna
does
be
immigrant.
fear
wrong.
ask you? Okay, go ahead. You guys take it. You know
Let
I'm
me
driving
tell
it.
you. First of
Yeah,
all, I
yeah,
know your
yeah.
mom. I pray your mom raised you right.
I agree.
But if you ever lift your
Please
finger
lick
and
up.
touch it
Mm-hmm,
on my body, I'm
mm-hmm,
calling 911. Immigrant, no immigrant.
mm-hmm.
I am not your beating. First, I'm not even letting it go the first time. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's not. Oh, baby, I won't do it again. Nope. One time, we're done. It's out. You
Mm,
go your
okay.
way, I go my way. Because that's how it starts. They will start out joking. First of all, don't even call me stupid. Because the moment you call me stupid, the whole relationship already over. That's no,
Okay.
that's what it starts. Because it starts off as a joking form, then it becomes an abuse. Within the
Okay.
process, men test you. They'll test you to see how much you can take. If you take that And the same goes the other way around too. Women do the same too. They'll test and see how much it can take. When you take that amount, they'll go ahead and do it again. Nobody should be raising their hands at nobody. Like no adult should take his hand and put it on another adult for no reason. You're triggered as a man, you should be able to control yourself. If you're triggered, grab the keys, go in the basement, go to the garage, go for a walk, do something with yourself to calm yourself down. But if you lift a finger on me, but you yell at me first, I'm crying. Before you come in and put your hand on me, the police will can't see me laying there in the driveway waiting for you. Because I'm not back in the house. I'm laying right on the concrete while calling the police. They're gonna meet me there before they can pick you up. That's not okay.
Y'all need to leave this. You know, we Liberian.
Right.
Listen.
That's one of the enabling we're talking about over there too.
That's it. I'm gonna say this tonight.
Okay.
If you're a woman, keep your hands to yourself. That's the first part. Because a lot of y'all women, y'all think you're Mike Tyson daughter, and you're not. Let's put that on the map really quick. You're not Mike Tyson daughter. If you're power WWE wrestler, that's not me and pass it down to you. So take your hands off these men, right? So let's talk about that. And back to the ladies again. This thing, our mouth, we need to kind of watch it in a certain language too. Because there are some women that be shooting bullets with their tongue. And not all men have that self-control and not want to something. I'm not justifying the hitting, but I'm also saying women, don't provoke, keep yourself so. Okay?
Right.
Now let's come back to the men that even these women are not provoking you, they're not saying nothing to you, and you just want to be child sitter for a son.
Right.
And you won't show your talent as a woman beater, you're gonna go to jail, you lose everything that you work for, I promise you.
Okay.
And even one of my friends, I always tell my friend, if I ever see your partner abusing you, I'm calling the police. I don't care what type of relationship you got. If I am there, he raised his hands at you, I am calling the police so he can get
911.
And that nobody. It's not okay. It's not.
Okay. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing breaking the silence. May happens to be Mental Health Month, and we here at Inner Circle Podcast want to kind of pull the curtain on this. It's something we don't discuss a lot. So you can contribute to the conversation by calling our number 952-594-5154 or putting a comment in the chat. We need to talk more about this. We have been kind of a domestic abuse, and the ladies are really, really animated, talking a lot of things and things like that. So the next kind of coming conversation I want to bring
Hold on,
up.
JP,
Which one? This one?
Yes.
Liberian women start to stand there hard for Liberian men, but it look because Nigerian men got it mad.
Oh, okay. So wow. I mean, so when someone gets money, wait. Okay.
So I heard on the streets. The streets said the Nigerian and the Ghanaian men, they got the money. The streets said, I let Liberian men just on my own tonight. But the streets are saying the people got the money. And they're willing to spend it with no hesitation.
Right.
You feel me? They're ready to cash you out, fly you out, buy you out. Any out you're looking for, they will do it for you. So that's why the standard is bare minimum.
So
in that city, who got flavor in front of buy you.
Right. First of all, you come and take me to Jumbo. I'm like, what the heck? What?
But in that man, you get a Maserati, you feel like nice, your back is resting. So I let cool air conditioner. All that people like their friend and horse, you gotta be chilling here.
Right.
But you could be taking all those Benjamins, all those money though, right? Riding in those air conditioner, in those private jet, or in that nice car, but being emotionally abused, right? So is the money more important? Right? Okay,
that's where the choices come.
You gotta make a choice. If you want crying Lamborghini or in what else I market, if people want crying Lamborghini.
I only want to cry in Lamborghini or what else I market. But I definitely will not want to be chilling in Jumbo. Definitely not. And that's the part to go play soccer all day. Come home. Take that stink for them, put it on the table, grab beer from the fridge and sit down. How are we supposed to not set the standard high? Like, I mean, come on now, come on.
Okay.
And
You
some
Okay.
of
want to
these
kick it with the
foreign men,
boys all the
Yeah.
time instead of
they
spending time
got
with your
career
person.
to the name. They are
Uh-huh.
Right.
career driven. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking my Liberian brothers because some of them out here really getting a bed, putting themselves out there. But
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
foreign men, I mean, you got tech, you got engineers. I mean, they come
Yep.
in with
Lawyers,
with, 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 with
doctors.
like status. You know what I mean? They come in with status.
So
So
you
if you
say,
come in
so
with
you say,
status will
mhm.
get you status.
Oh, okay, okay. So
No,
what you're
no,
saying
no.
there?
We're not
Wait.
saying we'll tolerate the mental abuse. What he's saying
No,
is
no, no.
we set the standard high for Liberian men, and it's not the
Yeah,
same for Nigerian men.
We
yeah.
That's
don't.
because we expect more of our Liberian brothers. That's why we set standard for them so they can do better and treat us better.
But they
Sorry,
don't
Abby.
need to
Let me
stand on
say,
me to
if
hold
you
on.
guys say, okay, I want to drag this more. If you guys say you expect
Drag
more,
it with
what is
drag it
it?
to them.
What is it that you expect more of, right? If I'm there, right? Like, so to his next point here, to JC passing next point, Liberian men are very are the most romantic lawyer, right? I
That
mean,
is
in West Africa, right?
that,
Hey, in West Africa, so if the man is
You're not
very
getting us to
romantic,
know, big you.
he's lawyer, and man, you rather you would.
Liberian man, what in law?
He said lawyer. It's
In
not
where?
compared to other African men, though, right? I mean, especially in West Africa, he said that maybe compared to a Ghanaian or Nigerian.
All the Liberian men I've ever been with, they can cheat. So,
Oh,
they're
so
the
I
loyal
don't know
ones.
where you coming
They're
from a lawyer.
loyal to the homeboys. That's
They
it.
real loyal to their homeboys, not you. They're loyal to the hookah stick do
Yep.
and the beer
In the
bottle. That's what
Corona
our loyalty
bottle.
lies.
That's right.
okay.
Go
So,
ahead.
okay.
If you
I
got
mean,
the same
I'm glad
point.
you brought the cheating aspect of what role does cheating has to play when it comes to mental health. If you guys, I
Oh,
mean,
Plenty,
it,
plenty
what?
rule.
It
okay.
plays a big role. When you cheat on a woman,
Uh-huh.
it mentally destroy her. Because first thing first, we start thinking what that person have that we don't have. What is it that she's doing to him that we're not doing to him? Why is he leaving us? Are we not good looking enough? Are we not doing what we're supposed to do as a partner? Mentally, we go through that whole it's a whole thing. We think about it, we process it, then we start looking at ourselves less than what we are. So it damaged us mentally. And for everybody,
Okay.
let me take it sad because the moment you see one text, you're already ready to break up.
But that's something, if you say it damages the man or the woman, right? That's something, I mean, you see a lot in the community, right? It has become a normal behavior. So are we condoning,
Yes, we're enabling. I told you today, the community is divided into two, whether
It
you
is.
are said
Yeah.
or
Yep.
they
okay.
enable us. We're not. They
Yep.
enable us include nobody is perfect. We've been together
Right.
50 years. We're not born children together.
At
Oh,
least
people that say they
when
live
there's
so
the other
far.
one, at least he coming home at the end of the
And
day.
oh, that's
Oh,
favorite
that's the one
one.
that can irk me. That one
Their
can get
favorite
under
one.
my skin. At least he coming home seriously. That's what you want to come home
And
to you.
when you leave the man for cheating, you'll meet another man that'll be
You
cheating
mean
too. So
another man
don't
who
just
can
sit
cheat?
on there.
I will keep meeting the one that can cheat until I meet the one that can cheat.
Well, I mean, once you consider that if you keep doing that, right? Aren't you mentally challenged if you keep going from one man to another instead of maybe
Remember,
working
I
on
said people make choices and say that mental health struggle. Why I say
Right.
everything?
And
a
that's when when you notice that those things keep happening, that's when you take a break
Yes.
and
ah
discover the
And you
problem.
rest your
Sometimes
back.
it's
Rest
not
your
the
back.
people. Sometimes it's I would speak for myself
yeah,
personally.
yeah.
I dated for the longest. I dated the same guy in different form.
Mm,
I didn't even know that was my father. My dad was a cheater, professional cheater, professional cheater. As an adult, I found myself dating the same type of person in different body over and over until I started going to therapy. When I
mm,
started going to therapy,
mm,
that's when I started discovering these childhood traumas
mm.
Patterns.
that's still going on through me mentally, emotionally as an adult. So that's
Okay.
where you notice that you keep meeting the same people and going through the same cycle over and over. I took
Mhm.
a break. I took a good 3-year break from relationship. I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna do the work I need to do. And when I got to the place where I wanted to be, I told myself, for the moment I see you start sneaking with your phone in the bathroom, that's not for me. That is not. I'm not going. I'm an overthinker. Once you do it
Okay.
once or I start thinking, what's going on with that? Transparency is everything
Yes.
for me now as an adult.
Hmm.
That's
So
just
would it,
where we're at.
would it both of
Uh,
you say that? I mean, would it both of you say relationship, like especially in the immigrant community or in the Liberian community, most of the time leads to mental health challenges? Is that what's going on?
yes. Yep.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Say
because
more.
a lot of the African relationships are very toxic,
Hmm.
and it's just based on these days it's more of they're just coexisting. All the
Okay.
bills is too high, you don't want to pay the bills by yourself, so why not can he yeah, he do what he wants to do? And
Hmm.
once again it comes down to this, men can take it. Men will
Okay.
do what they want to do. The moment a woman start doing something,
Hmm.
then she become the problem in the relationship. And
Okay.
us, we need to stand our ground and seek the help we need and hold our own weight.
Can I
That's
say
just
this tonight, Patience?
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
honest, now that we're older and wiser, let's keep it a buck. I respect the men because they will not take a cheating woman. So when
right.
me get it here to
Yep.
know
Yep.
the men that choose themselves every chance they
Every
get.
time. Yep.
Average, no man is gonna take a woman that finish doing oh he hot on the other end. They're not
Right.
doing that. But
I
we
also
the
want to be Jesus Christ strongly
we
disabled.
the God's strongest soldiers. We want to prove our back is very
We should carry him all his side chick, all
all
his
is
side
such
chick
mom.
on our
And the
back.
spirit and say you born, we should put it on our back to prove our
Yeah.
point. But at the end
Okay.
of the day, you're not doing yourself any justice because the women said I can accept outside kids. Kudos to y'all, right? Kudos to y'all
Mm.
because kudos to y'all. But here's what I see when women do that. For the rest of that marriage or life they're with that person, they don't sincerely really rock with that kid.
He's not even gonna be in the house before he will be with that person in the first place.
So what role then does culture, right? I mean, the cultural expectation, right? Because we come
What
from
the
a
video
different
died,
culture.
my dear?
Or should we just abandon our culture? We shouldn't. I mean, should we disregard it? Because what role does culture have to play in all this, right? If we just say, these things back home or in Africa, a lot of other places around the world, I mean, these are might be considered normal behavior, right? And then here
That's fine.
it gets amplified.
Once again, they don't. For now, like this generation, that's a choice they're making. But back then, our parents did not have, like, once again, the resources. They didn't have
Mhm.
the education. They didn't have the means to fend for themselves because they were basically a homemaker. These men did whatever they want to do and come home, and they're doing what they're supposed to do at home. But now, if a woman choose to be in a relationship where a man have multiple, she's making a choice. She's God gave her the heart. I pray God take his heart back because she ain't using your heart for the right purposes.
Patient, that's right.
Because if you're doing struggle love in this day and age and generation, something is you need help. You need to seek some form of help because it's not okay. The
Okay.
economy is already high enough. We're
Okay.
all going through it enough for you to come be with somebody who's stressing you every day of your life. That's mental illness. They're not okay.
So what again? Then what does it take then to heal from a relationship trauma? If folks that are going through that, right? Maybe they have a boyfriend or girlfriend that's cheating, or maybe in a marriage that like both parties are having issues communicating. What does it take to heal from a relationship trauma?
The first step would be who is in
Therapy.
your ear, right?
Mhm.
Do you have an advocate or
Right.
enabler? I keep telling you all the thing today.
That's true.
People keep other people bound in so
Hmm.
many things because
Hmm.
they are bound. So they want last like me in a suffering marriage. Patient coming to me complaining about her husband. I say, patient man, inside your man, what you go see?
Yeah.
I'm encouraging, I'm enabling you to
Hmm.
suffer because I am. So
Yep.
you gotta know which voice are you hearing. Are you hearing a woman that said, okay, honey, I get it, your men are perfect. Ma, maybe go to therapy and see what you can work on together, right? And see and give the marriage another shot, right? Or are you saying, or the person because they're suffering, so we need to suffer to say, man, sit down there, oh, no man perfect,
Mm.
oh, we all there,
Right.
oh, our parents okay, oh, let's take it too. So all of those lines, you gotta. My first thing I would say to anybody, who's in your ear? That's the
Mhm.
first step, right? And then you become self-aware of what is it that you desire, and then you look into therapy. But start with
Yep.
the voices that you're hearing, because that voices play a tremendous role. Is there people that really care about your well-being, your mental health, and want to see you succeed, or is there people that are willing to suffer by pretending to look like they care about you, by
Right.
enabling the toxic behavior? So start by answering the call. Who am I listening to, and what am I hearing?
But in the social media world, okay, go ahead, patient, before I come. Go ahead.
And for me too is like, I'm very big on this too. The company you keep,
Yes. Who are you hearing?
the company you keep is the biggest thing. And I always tell my friends, I give you 1 year to complain about your relationship. If you're not gonna do nothing about it, that our friendship died down. Because first of all, I'm not about to make it to seem like I'm not about to make it to seem that it's okay for you to be going through struggle. No, it's not. 1 year, okay. Do what's best for you. Seek the help you need to seek. Go to therapy. If you're not willing to do that, you won't suffer in love. I respect your decision. I'm going to pull back because I don't want to get that mindset that it's okay for somebody to be going through what you're going through. It's not okay. You have the choice to choose peace. Seek the help. There's a lot of ways you can seek help. Set your partner down. Talk to your partner. If he's not doing what he's supposed to do, find a way where you can move on. I had a spouse. I once told the man I wasn't happy and said, go find happiness. I said, thank you. That's all I needed to know. Just tell me to go find happiness. I went for my happiness. He said I cheated on him. I did not cheat. You told me to go and find happiness. I found you. We have to get to the place where we choose ourselves. Because if you don't do that, and I would say this again, in order for you to love people, in order for you to pour into people, you need to be mentally, emotionally healthy, or else you're not going to give anybody sound advice. Because if you're going through it at home, like when you say if you're going through it at home, your friend comes to you and tell you I'm going through it. Oh, mom, can't sit now. Let us see. Like, what is that? I don't want that type of relationship. Let's find a way where we can get out of the situation we're in and become better people. Not come, let's sit down going through the same thing. That's a problem. So the company you keep is very, very important. Very.
In the social media world, though, how do you determine who's in your ear, right? A lot of people on Facebook, a lot of drama on Facebook, right? Sometimes you might be going through stuff, right? You see other folks on Facebook or Snap or wherever going through the same thing. So how do you determine who's in your ear? When you say you should know who's in your ear, how do
Who
you
you listening to?
Yeah, who you listening to?
The first part of that, how to be able to distinguish, is from the beginning. You should know your tribe. Right? Social
Okay.
media is not your tribe. It's a
Nope.
social media. It's there for socialization. That means you have already established a tribe of people that you know can talk sense into you outside of social media. Social media world is a facade that everybody's pretending wearing this mask like
Hey.
they got it like that, and they ain't got a damn thing to show for it. So
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, you have your tribe, right? Because in your tribe, you know people that can talk sense to you, they can speak life back into you. Social media people, not everybody here speaking life into you. So people happy you got problems. They really are. So
Okay.
start by establishing a tribe outside of social media. That's why people should have real life outside of social
Outside of
media.
social media.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's where you
That's
should start
powerful.
from. Because
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
trying to say
powerful.
is that then when you come to social media with whatever issues you have, the tribe that you have established, Abe, has that privilege to say, hey, get off this life. Right?
Yep.
That's the
Yep.
voices you're hearing right
Yep.
there. That's the advocate. Then you got the voice that said, oh, share the other video. She on live talking. That's enabling there. Let's keep
Yep.
talking about it. Let's keep the drama going. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. That's what I mean by that. So start by establishing a healthy tribe or community, whatever you want to call it, of people that you know can talk sense into you. For me, people are tribe that I'm in, baby, you're not going on Facebook to talk about your business. You're not. I will violate you. I will report your video. I will report you.
Okay.
Right? But you
Okay.
have to establish that outside, Evie. So when you
Yep.
do bring it online, let's say that person not aware you're going and you just abruptly make that decision, they will come right in. Nope, take that video down. That is not
Yep.
okay. That's the voice we're talking about. So start by that. So when you do make it on social media, you will have good people talking to you and not enablers. We need to leave this concept of enabling people. Like, it's really
Yep.
killing our people.
It is.
Okay. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing breaking the silence. This 1 hour show. The conversation has been very, very heated, right?
We
It's like
came with the smoke tonight.
it's mental health month, and the ladies are really dropping some great gems. So we'll push it for a few more hours, and we'll try to wrap it up.
I was
3 more minutes, man.
You want to journey for all night? You want to journey for all night?
I know y'all love us, but we gotta go to bed.
Yeah. So lastly here, then I should try to wrap up, right? So how do we, in trying to discuss mental health, how do we support partners without losing ourselves, right? In trying to say, okay, how do we kind of support our partners, right? Making sure that we don't lose ourselves in the process as well. Patient will start with you and then maybe I'll go to Wayne.
Um, if you see your partner struggling, you need to let them know, like, oh, hey, baby, I noticed that you're going through X amount of thing. Like, I'll just
Mhm.
speak about a common example. The whole when this whole election thing happened, it triggered a lot of people. Like, my
Mhm.
person was going through it mentally because he's an African American. He got the mindset where he believed that the whole world is after black people, which is okay. And that's some semi true. I had to tell him, like, look here, this is a time for you to talk to your therapy. Talk to your therapy once a week. Like,
Mhm.
if you're going through it, because it will come to a point you won't sleep. I'm like, okay, because it affects me. If you're not sleeping, I'm not sleeping. My sleep is very important to me. You're not about to be tossing. You're not about
I
to be
know,
tossing
right?
and turning here. Seek help. Like, encourage your partner to seek help. It's very, very important. Because it's not just you're sharing space with this person, you're sharing a life with this person. Whatever affect that person affects
Mhm.
you. And once
Mhm.
again, the company you keep, that's your company. And
Okay.
you don't want to see that person struggling in any way where you can't help yourself, then you fall down that track too. It comes down to the whole toxic thing. Because once you start hanging out around situations like that, it start affecting you mentally as well. Then both of y'all have mental issues. And also create a space where at least at the end of the day, both of y'all can sit and talk. Like, how was your day today? What was the most exciting thing? What was the most challenging thing about your day? Just talk to that person, let them know. Even though men act tough, but they're big babies. They really want you to ask them, like, girl, what you ate today? Y'all be low key seeking that attention without even wanting to ask
They
for it.
love it, girl.
So just create that space where both of y'all can
I
sit and
see Eddie
talk.
smiling.
You see, if you're smiling, of course I do. Plan something, especially when you notice he's struggling, plan something, get him out of the house. Just talk. Talking. Once you start talking, even if you can't do nothing about it, talk to that person, ask them what's going on. Even if it's a friend, if you notice your friend is distant or haven't talked to you for X amount of time, reach out. Like, look here, what's going on with you? Do you want to
Mhm.
grab a drink? Because we are all going through it with this whole nonsense of women in the world right now. We're all going through it. We need to help each other out of this hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep pushing us down. So yeah, talking for me, I'll say.
Okay. When it is for you, then do we know the difference between healthy love and emotional dependency in our community, in our immigrant
Maybe,
community? Do we
maybe
know that?
that convers. Can you have that topic next week? Because we don't.
I know that dollar
That's
topic,
heavy.
why that's a whole nother
That
topic.
topic is needed and it's heavy.
Yep,
Healthy
it
love
is.
and emotion. Okay, okay, okay. Just for
Yep.
you, we'll put that down as a
Put it
topic. Let's
up. You
put
got
that up.
ready. I won't bring the smoke. But I'm just saying because we really don't. We don't. And
Okay,
patient touch
okay.
on it from the generational piece, right?
Mm,
Everything
mm,
is so normalized in our culture and back home
Yep.
and everything to this point that a
mm,
person can really be doing you wrong. We said, like I said, is enabled and is normalized because we have this mindset that nobody is perfect. That
mm.
statement, it is true. Nobody is perfect. That means we all have our butts about
Okay,
us. That's
okay.
what that statement means. It does not mean somebody should drag you through the mud and you still saying that somebody is not perfect. That's not what it means by that.
Mm,
So
okay,
I feel
okay.
sometimes, like I said prior, we take words out of context and we misuse words a lot. But that's a different subject. So let's talk about that next
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Mhm.
And last point, then you see a lot of folks in our community, right? It's like so many adults in our community, right? Airing their
Mhm.
personal conflict on social media.
Mm.
Is that the right way? Is that the right way for us to be approaching things? You think what is contributing to that? Are these mental health challenges? Is it
Enablers.
Seeking attention.
I think, listen, so
do
to
you think it's seeking
everything,
attention though, or because
all
something
the
something is
above.
wrong somewhere? Okay.
The thing about it, Av, I think in life, everything needs a healthy balance. I advocate for healthy balance. I get it. We have the live buttons and we want to use it to the best of our ability, which we should, right?
Mm,
It
Right.
gets awareness out there. And here we are, like streaming on live today. People can see healthy, take away from things within the community. But I think
mm,
sometimes too, as our people, we misuse things again,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Certain conversations, if you ask me, don't deserve a a live display. Certain
Right.
conversations, like an example, when that young lady Sada had to go to the courthouse, why do we need people there
Right.
filming what transpired
Right.
at that situation?
Once again, the company you keep,
From
because
from a
those are her
clinic
own
from a
friends.
clinical lens, is a lens of seeking validation.
Mm-hmm.
That's clinically speaking, there's a level of concern I will raise there, because why is it you have camera platform all over? This is not CNN news.
Right.
Mm.
You know what I
And
Okay.
it's
mean?
like it's not
So
anything positive too. I mean,
certain conversation for me, I think should be held privately. Certain ways of helping people don't have to be publicly. I shouldn't come to a patient and put a live video to help patients on what she's
right,
bothering
right.
in her car. I shouldn't do
Mhm.
that. Then that means I came with a motive.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's
Mhm.
certain conversation you can help or talk to people about. It don't have to be on social media platform. There are people I have conversation with personally that want. I don't sit on social media record a conversation or display. I
Right.
don't need to do that. So why is it that we don't know how to pick and choose which one to shine light on and which one to
Mhm.
keep private?
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Well,
And
folks,
most
to know. Yeah,
let
go
me
ahead. Go ahead, patient. Go ahead.
and most of the time too is the company to keep too, because you have these friends encouraging you to like do these things. First of all, if any one of my friends see me go on live, they're already calling me. They will be cussing me for before they even bring for me to answer. They'll start cussing me, and they will not stop until I get off the live. Sometimes
Yep.
it's just the company you keep. My mom don't have Facebook. My mom always know what's going on Facebook, so I can't even, I can't even push that. It's just putting yourself in a positive environment, and that's one thing too. I tell people, people make friends up for hate, and
Mhm.
then when you start going through that, then they start putting your own business out to you. We have to create a healthy community for us to be in a healthy space.
Okay.
Why do you feel the need to come and put your personal business on social media of all places where the
Mhm.
whole world is going to see? Then you have your own, the people you call your friends, you have them underneath their comments. Oh yes, well no, that's not how it's supposed to be. First of all, the first
Enablers.
take this down. Why are you posting your business on Facebook? You're inviting other people into that. And once another point, for me, I believe is attention seeking. There is
Okay.
no reason why we should know your boyfriend cheated on you 10 times and you decide to stay in a relationship. He cheated the first time you decide to stay there. You don't need to know again. That's the
Okay.
relationship in peace. You sit down in your relationship in peace. Why do we have to? It's attention seeking. You put your
Okay.
business out there, then we want voice our opinion. They become a whole group for no reason because me when I see I won't voice my own, I get my mother, I won't voice my own, then it become a problem. Stop. We need to start doing that. Go talk to your therapist, go talk to your mom, go talk to your best friend, go talk to someone that can help you. Because us, the social media in-laws, aunties, and uncles, we're not gonna help you. We just gonna make your situation worse.
Okay. Well, folks, tonight we have been discussing breaking the silence. It's Mental Health Month, so we have been having a great discussion around mental health. So the conversation, the ladies really, really drop some gems tonight. So very great conversation. So as we wrap up here, what message you want do we all want to leave with the folks tonight who have been watching us, right? Regarding mental health. How should we approach mental health? How should we, carry ourselves? I know like our patient, he said therapy is very important. You don't have to be going through any kind of a mental health challenges, therapy. But what other message you want to leave with the folks tonight? Patient, will start with you, and then when we're ending with you. Patient, will start with you.
First, I want to tell everybody thank you for joining us. And I know it's been a while. I've been figuring things out. But one thing I would say is choose yourself. In whatever you do, choose yourself. Like put yourself in a healthy environment, in a healthy space. Surround yourself by positive people where will encourage you to become better, do better, and people
Mm,
that will tell you the truth. Because if you're not around people that will tell you the truth, you're not gonna do any better. Just put yourself in a healthy environment and seek help, man. If you need it, seek it. If you don't need it, talk to someone. There is always room for you to be a better person, for you to improve on life. We're
mm,
all going through it once again. I would say this over what the whole world is going through it. We all need help. Let us seek the help. Let us come together as community. I really wish I can find like a group of women in the African community where we can actually come together and
mm,
do stuff like activities to help empower and help us grow
Patient, you
mentally.
have the inner circle lady. You don't show up to all events. Don't try to go there.
I mean, we always planning stuff. We never show. We never.
Wait,
We
yeah,
never,
man. You can't even come.
we never show. If it's a lady event, I'll tell you. Don't worry. I wish I can do that because I'm terrible at making friends. I had the same friends for over 20 years. So I really wish there's some form of group I can expand myself and just get out of this bush a little bit. Let us come together so we can be better and make the world a better place, especially our African community. We need to do that for us and help us improve and become better individuals.
Okay, Wayne will wrap up with you.
Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for engaging with us tonight. This topic is so nice. I love mental health, not because I'm in the well, I am in the field, so that's celebrating us. But one thing, few things I would say tonight. First of all, mental health is also correlated to the word health, right? So it goes together. It doesn't separate, it goes together. It's a two-part. Secondly, patient said it, please choose yourself. And that might look different from everybody depending on the lens in which they're using to look through, right?
Mhm.
Thirdly, you don't have to be in crisis to seek a therapist or to have a provider. It's good to have someone that is outside of your friends or family that you can confide in, that is paid to keep your secret. Because if a therapist leak anything, they can get sued and lose their
Who you?
license, right? And then fourth, please don't let the amount of years you've been with somebody encourage
Mm.
suffering. That is so important. And five, don't sell your self-respect for social media validation. I promise you it's not even worth it. Thank you guys for
Okay.
watching tonight. Happy Mental Health Month. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and practice self-care. Bye.
Thank you so much, folks. And folks, that concludes the end of our show
Inner
tonight. It's
Circle
been a great
podcast where
conversation.
hearts
Thank you so
unite.
much. We'll see you guys
Sharing our truths,
Thursday and next
bringing
week. But
hope
thanks for
to
your
the light.
contribution. And we'll put that topic back up. That one you said that
Community strong,
Healthy
healthy
love. Yeah,
relationship,
we need that.
unstoppable.
healthy relationship
He's
versus
coming next
dependence.
week.
We've
Yeah, we'll bring
created.
that next week. We'll bring that next week. But thank you
So
so much,
join
folks,
the
and good night, everyone.
conversation. Let's set the
Good
tone.
night. Bye, guys.
Inner Circle